What is up, gamers? How are you doing on this beautiful day? Today, I want to kind of discuss what I think of The Last of Us. Now, I just finished the series today, finished the final episodes, and what I want to talk about in this video, I want to talk about comparisons of the game and of the show, starting with Ellie. Now, starting with Ellie. Now, starting with Ellie. Now, the Ellie in the show. Now, the Ellie in the show. Don't get mad at me for saying this. She's kind of a brat in the show, but she. Now, Ellie is kind of a brat in the show. Don't get me wrong, but once you. But one thing I love about it, once you get like further in to the first season, you kind of gain this kind of like father and daughter like relationship between her and Joe. And and speaking of Joel, ignore the fact that I said Joe. I always like confuse the two. I always confuse the two names. I always confuse the two names, and speaking of Joel, a lot of people kind of seem, in my head, I have this feeling that a lot of people seem to hate the fact that he saved Ellie while they were searching for a cure. But something that I feel like something that I feel like in my head, something that I put together in my head, Joel has like already like lost Sarah. He's not gonna lose Ellie. He's not gonna lose another person that he loves, family or not. He's not gonna lose that person. Not Tommy, not his not his sister-in-law. I forgot what Tommy's wife's name is. I forgot what Tommy's wife's name is. Speaking of Tommy, I want to talk about his change in Draco. Now, in the game, Tommy has a revolver in the game. Joel gave Tommy his revolver, but in the show he has a sniper. But in the show he has a sniper rifle, and I like how they kind of changed some things around. I like how they changed some things around in the game. And speaking of changes in the game, I want to talk about kind of like the environment of the QZ, or I want to talk about the environment of the quarantine zone. Now, I want to talk about the environment of the quarantine zone. Now, in the game, in the quarantine zone section, you can find these little kind of like snippet conversations, and one of them is a woman talking with a dude, and she says, "I got served the dang papers this morning. I've been selected for outside work duty." And when you get to the quarantine zone section, you have what I'm assuming is like a job listing assignment thing. At least that's what I'm assuming So there's a nice little connection there. Next up is the hospital. Now, in the hospital, Joel shoots a firefly right in between the legs, but in the show he goes straight for the noggin. It's fine. I can live without it. It's fine. I can live without it. One thing I didn't really see, or maybe I didn't really catch on, you don't see his backpack you don't see Joel's backpack in the show, like resting on like a desk or whatever it is. You don't see Joel's backpack like resting on you don't see Joe's backpack resting on the desk or like the table in the kind of like reception thing. Now, for those of you who kind of forgot, in the game, Joel spots his backpack and and he turns around and finishes the Firefly captain or whatever the dude's like ranking is. I don't know the full like rankings of the Fireflies. I don't know the full rankings of the Fireflies. Next up, I want to talk about the enemies. I want to talk about the enemies and the infected. What thing I didn't... there's an infected missing in the show, and that was the Stalker. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Stalker does in The Last of Us, their name kind of gives it away. They ambush survivors. Those guys are extreme, like, pests in the game. I am not a fan of that. You don't really know when they're coming. And furthermore, you can't even see them with the vision thing. You can't even see him with you can't even see them with the vision like thing or whatever it is, the hearing focus thing. So that's kind of annoying. I guess it would be kind of considered cheating. But yeah. I guess it would kind of be considered cheating. But yeah, really, I guess it would be kind of considered cheating. But yeah, I guess. I guess it would kind of be considered cheating, but I mean, who doesn't? But I mean, like, who knows? I didn't write the game. I'm just a fan of it. I guess it would be considered cheating, but who knows? I didn't write the game. Actually, it would be considered cheating since... Actually, it would be considered cheating. Another thing that I really like is how they threw in some aspects of the Left Behind DLC. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Left Behind DLC is, it's this... it serves as this kind of in-between thing where Ellie reminisces her mall adventures with Riley, which is pretty cool. And I love how they have Mortal Kombat in there. I don't know what the mall in The Last of Us is or what it's called. If anyone can help me out, I will heart your comment. If anyone knows what the mall in The Last of Us is, or like what it's based off of, then please do fill me in, because I would love to know the name. Because I would love to know the name. Next up, we have the Fedra officers. Now, Fedra, it's not really... Now, the Fedra officers, they're kind of the same. They're kind of the same as the game. Also, for all my European viewers, if I have any European viewers, for those of you who don't know who Fedra are, they are based off of fema. If you want to know a little bit more, I will see if I can put a link in the description. Or a pinned comment. I will see if I can put a link in the description or a pinned comment. I'll put a link in the description or a pinned comment. I'll put a link in the description or a pinned comment, whichever one you prefer, and I will, and you can get some more things on FEMA or Fedra, whichever you want to call them. Fedra is based off of FEMA. Fedra is based off of FEMA, which is kind of cool. It's kind of cool having like a. It's kind of cool having like a. It's kind of cool having reference to an actual like military kind of arm. It's kind of cool having reference to an actual like. It's kind of cool. It's pretty cool having a reference to an actual like military kind of like thing. It's pretty cool having a reference to a military type of thing, which is pretty dope. Next up, I want to talk about some. Okay, next up, I want to talk about. Next up, I want to talk about what I like more, the game or. I want to talk about what I like more. Do I like the show more or the game more? Short answer, I like them equally. They're equally as good together. I love it when games have this kind of movie or show version of itself. They're both equally as good. Same with the intro. The intro is kind of different. They don't have the news thing going on in the intro, and they don't have the weird like white thing that's like growing. They don't have the weird like white thing that's like growing in the background that I've yet to find out what it is. Maybe it's like a black and white version of the Cordyceps. Maybe it's a black and white version of the Cordyceps kind of like fungus thing that mutated in the Last of Us show, that mutated in the Last of Us timeline. Yes, that mutated in the Last of Us timeline. And yes, the Cordyceps fungus thing in the Last of Us, that's an actual thing. That's an actual thing. I'll also see if I can put a link to a Wikipedia page in the description. If you want to maybe learn like more about it. It exists deep in the jungle. I don't know which one. It exists deep in the jungle. I don't know what jungle it exists deep in the jungle. But what it does, it hijacks the nervous system of an ant or a spider or any kind of like insect or whatever. Or any kind of insect. Sophie, stop it. You're just gonna have to ignore that. You're just gonna have to ignore my dog barking. Oh wait, she might have stopped. But yeah, it hijacks the nervous system of an ant, a spider, and literally turns them into zombies. And spores of the fungus, they land in the skin and embed themselves in the creature. So in the Last of Us show, it mutated because obviously the Cordyceps in the real world cannot affect the human body. It can't affect the human body. It can't affect us as a human. Even though I did take a science class. Shout out to Mr. Mars, by the way, my middle school science teacher. You're a pretty cool dude. I don't know if you watch my videos, but you're pretty cool. So shout outs to you, bro. So shout outs to you. So So, so. You're a pretty cool dude, so shoutouts to you. Anyways, gamers, that is going to be all I have for you today. Keep on gaming, and I will see you in the next video. I'll remember to put a link in the description for both Fedra and the Cordyceps Wikipedia if you want to learn more about those. And I will see you in the next one. Check out an unboxing. Leave a like, subscribe, comment down below. That is very appreciated. All that jazz. Remember, you are appreciated within the gaming community, especially my fellow, especially on my views with ADHD. You are all appreciated and loved. You are all appreciated. Keep on gaming, gamers, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.